Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Keith Brock, who is the Solid Waste and Environmental Coordinator for Marion County. And I want to talk about two different issues here today. One is radon. At some of the fiscal court meetings, you've been handing out some information that you have radon tests that are available for people in our community. Yes. But first, let's start off talking about what is radon.
Radon is the geology of Marion County. With the New Albany shales, a lot of people call it the slate rock that you see on the road cuts. That produces a radioactive gas called radon. And what it does, it's lighter than air, and it will drift up into the house. And then you breathe it in a little less than 4 days, actually 3.8 days. That radioactive particle that you've breathed in will decay to the next state with a little burst of radiant energy. Now, if it is so small that it will be laying next to a cell in your lung, and that cell will take a hit from that radioactive burst, and it will kill that cell. But in many cases, it only partially kills the cell, and then the cell will begin to divide wildly. And if your immune system in your body doesn't check and kill that cell like it normally would when it's fighting infection, then it continues to multiply with a wild division, and a wild division of cellular growth is called cancer. So you get oat cell carcinoma of the lung. It causes lung cancer. That's what radon gas is.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that you have tests that can kind of determine what the radon levels are in people's houses, right? That are available for people in the community?
That is correct. The only way you know if you've got a radon problem is a result of the geological formations in our county, and where we're listed as one of the 6 or 8 high radon level counties in the state of Kentucky. The only way you can tell is to do a simple test in your home in the lowest living part of your home, like your bedroom or your den where you spend a lot of time. If you have a finished basement, you can also check that. And we have free test kits available through the Marion County Fiscal Court. They're available in Judge Daugherty's office, and I order them periodically, and I order like 100 at a time. The fiscal court pays for the funding of it. We issue them free with instructions to where a homeowner can test their home for radon. Now, when the test result comes back, you kind of need to know how they determine how much is too much radon. Because if you've got ambient air, just air you breathe in out here in Marion County, you're going to get a little bit of radon because it's always being generated in the soils. The radium in the soils are the shales that we see on the road cuts. So the federal government has set a limit of 3.9, and this is kind of an interesting measure, a unit of measure for radioactive gas, picocuries. Now, the Curie part of it was named after Madame Curie, who discovered radium, and radium is where it really comes from. Pico, P-I-C-O, is 1/trillionth of a curie of radiation per liter of air. So, if your test result comes back less than 4.0, which is 3.9 or less, that's considered the lowest level that's technologically achievable without doing some work in your home. And even if you had to put in some kind of a system to remove it from your home, 3.9 or less is still considered to be the kind of the standard of acceptance, the acceptable level. Now, every time you go above 4, depending on how much you go, and I'm going to tell you the highest level that we've ever detected in Marion County here in a minute. It's kind of interesting. But as you go up, like every 10 picocuries per liter, your risk of getting lung cancer from exposure increases markedly, like 17% greater for every 10 picocuries per liter increase, something to that effect. If you smoke or have a challenged immune system, it's kind of a synergistic reaction in that if you smoke or you have a compromised immune system, you're sick and you're exposed to high levels of radon, it goes up even higher than that because your immune system can't fight off the normal attack of the division of the cells. Now, the highest levels that we've ever recorded in Marion County, The record was actually broken about 2 months ago. Now, when I was at the Marion County Health Department, we started that program with the feds back in the middle 80s. We did a lot of tests, and the level that was the highest in Marion County was 83.0 picocuries per liter in a residence. Got one back about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, forget what it was, 122.3 picocuries per liter. Now, we have a lot of 30s, 40s, 35s, and people will put in a simple system, a little suction system, and it doesn't break the bank. Even a homeowner can do it. And I've advised people on how they can put in systems to remove the radon from their home pretty cost effectively. Now, if you pick up a test kit at Judge David Daugherty's office, a free test kit, we're here 5 days a week, usually from about 8:30 till 4:30. You can walk in and Miss Elder will supply you with the kit and free of charge. Mailing, everything's included. The test result of that kit will come back to the homeowner, and I will get, from an email standpoint, I will get the test result, but not the name, because it's kind of a private, it's kind of an environmental HIPAA thing. Because, you know, if you test and you had a high level and then you sold your home, it could affect the sale of it or something. So I don't really know where the test was taken. But if you get a high test level, you can contact me at my office. And I usually work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. I work 3 days a week. And my number is 270-692-0799. And I will consult with you and help you determine whether the test result was too high, whether it's a valid test, whether you exposed the kid in the right place, and what you need to do going forward over the short term and the long term. So that's basically the story of radon. We don't have a fix for the ground, but we certainly have fix for residences and businesses.
So you can get that free test by coming to the Marion County Judge Executive's office, pick up that free test, do the radon test, and then if you need help with the figures, just contact Keith here and he'll help you read the figures, but also help you mediate the problem if there is one.
Correct. Exactly correct.
Fantastic. Okay, the other thing we want to talk about is with tires in the area. At the last fiscal court meeting, you mentioned that there's some monies available for people if they're looking to get rid of some tires, correct?
Yes. I'll tell you what, every 3 or 4 years, the state of Kentucky and various counties, it's usually by the Area Development District, we're in the Lincoln Trail District, they'll schedule, and most of you know about this, they'll schedule a tire amnesty where anybody, basically residences, farmers, no retailers, but most people can bring tires to a central location and we'll take them and recycle them free of charge. But you got to bring them to us. But those amnesties are only held every 3 or 4 years. Well, I was appointed 3 years ago on a governor's council for it was called the Waste Tire Working Group, and I attended meetings in Frankfort, and I still go up there. And during that term on that committee, we decided to provide additional monies for the years in between the waste tire amnesties, because we still generate tires during those times when we don't have the amnesties. So I get a grant every year, and every county can access this money. Some of them don't put in for it, but we always put in for it, and they allow us $4,000 a year to accept individuals' tires and then put them in a pile. And I have a recycler that services our area come in periodically every month or two, and they'll pick the tires up and recycle them, and we'll pay for them from the fiscal court standpoint. Now, the funds are limited because we only have $4,000 a year, but we have it every year so far. Now, I've usually used probably 60% of that fund every year. That's from inmates picking up tires on the side of the road, farmers, individuals having a few. If you'll contact me, if you have some tires on your farm or in your home or on your property that you want to get rid of from cleaning out a fence row or something, I can usually accommodate you as far as getting rid of it free of charge. Now, they usually won't take those at the landfill, and we can't pick them up from the garbage standpoint when we service the area with a garbage route, because landfills don't want them. Even though they'll take them, they cost 2 and 3 times to get rid of, and they really need to be recycled. So I have a recycler come in periodically and pick them up. Now, in order to get approved to bring these tires to us, you have to bring them to us. You'd need to call me at the same number, 270-692-0799, and I'll tell you if I've got funds available or when I will have funds available to get rid of your waste tires. Now, where you have to take them is a county maintenance facility out on Highway 208, which is the first chain link facility after you pass the National Cemetery on the right. You cross the county barn. I've got a pile of tires out behind the barn there that homeowners and individuals can put their tires in the pile after I get it approved, and then we'll get rid of them for you free of charge with that grant.
Okay. So that's free to anyone that's not a tire retail business?
That is, and it's only for residents of Marion County.
Right.
Washington County probably has their program too, and the same with Taylor and LaRue and surrounding counties if they access the grant. We always take the grant though.
So contact Keith and he'll be able to get you that information if you want to get rid of some of those tires.
Absolutely. Same phone number. Or see me on the street. I'll be glad to tell you what to do. Yeah.
Now what's the phone number one more time?
It's 270-692-0799, and I'm here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, except on holidays. And if a holiday falls on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I generally work the following Thursday or whatever it is. I do 3 days a week.
Okay, I've been talking with Keith Brock, who is the Marion County Solid Waste and Environmental Coordinator. This has been Gary White with Central Kentucky Television.